So let's move to the open discussion that's chaired by Janusz.
Thank you. Yes, so we heard a lot about different views from various perspectives. We have different operators having their opinions on various technologies, strategies, approaches. So the goal of this discussion now is to maybe comment, to find something, okay, conflicting, agree, not agree. And also, in order to give one more direction or possibility to the discussion, we prepared some public questionnaires which can be accessible by anybody of you now. Please show here, yes. So this is a kind of online survey. You can scan a code from the screen or from your laptop and try to answer. Everybody is invited to provide comments and views. Of course, some maybe we can look that are very specific, although those terms were appearing during that discussion. So this first questionnaire is asking about some practical technical aspects using infrastructure. We heard from Telenor, from Orange, about importance of PIM, physical infrastructure management in our networks and proper implementation. So this first set of questions asks for opinion about that. And then second set refers to aspects of using of the various levels of management interfaces in the architecture, depending on the approach, how your network is prepared, what is the preferred view, how it can be properly referred. And here, this is also for clarity shown on the points mentioned in the list are also pointed clearly on the architecture figure to show how this can be understood and properly interpreted. So this is one questionnaire which we invite you to reply. After 5-10 minutes we can look at the results. Okay, so just for visibility, if you do not use your computers to scan the code and open it online. And there is also a second set of questions which we also prepared, and the second second set refers to more general aspects. So first set is referring to, please move to this 2 and 3 and 4. Yeah, second. Okay, so here there is a second questionnaire, so please also scan this code for second raising of opinions. And this refers to, as I said, to more general aspects. First set regarding validity of various aspects of automation in the networks, about the mechanisms which can be implemented, the importance, how we can see it depending on our position as operator or vendor or an integrator. And then last fourth set of questions refers to aspects of AI. AI is exploding now as a subject for various discussions, opinions. Currently, I think all of us are looking at the progress of that discussion. So here we propose some questions. Of course, for all of those questions there is also option other. So we may provide additional views if that is applicable for that part. So please think a bit. And as I said, we will leave some minutes to provide your online opinions on that, and then we can look at them to see what is the importance and how it leads. Okay, so as I said, this session is related to the discussion. We heard 5 interesting presentations, analytics view, and then operators view. How large operators see various aspects of development. So now I would like to invite all of you to comment, to maybe point to some aspects that may need more clarification. We didn't have much time for asking questions, so of course we can do it now. I also invite our panelists to share their views. If there is something maybe that was realized during the presentation, comparing to others, how we can benefit on common approach. So for that, I invite all to discuss. I don't know, maybe to somehow start. I don't know, can I ask you as analytic expert if you heard something new, which is surprising, or which is something that can be added to your, because as you said, your analysis is ongoing. This process is still alive. So maybe today you heard something which inspired you to have some additional views, and then we can continue on technical aspects.
I think it was very encouraging to see, some big names, some big operators thinking about, the horizontal platforms. And actually, when I look at the architectures in all 4 presentations, we all have a platform vision, right? I mean, the industry is really moving forward from having these disparate silos, and we're really looking at creating a programmable platform for future services, right? So that's a very positive thing, really, and it's moving towards disaggregation and automation, and and multi-cloud as well, right? I mean, a few years ago, no one was really talking about multi-cloud, and now you're experimenting with public cloud providers, infrastructure, and B2B services as well. So it's I guess it's going to be quite interesting to see going forward. I presented 2 different approaches to automation, traditional way of doing it, and also the open source way. And I'm really wondering, as an Etsy group, are you looking for? You have the the opportunity to become the center for translation and orchestrating different industry initiatives, right? You have Nefio, you have Anuket, Silva. So can Etsy really become the center for federating and orchestrating and taking, for instance, CNCF is doing a lot of stuff, but it's not type specific. Maybe that could be the role that you guys as an Etsy could drive, and because if we are talking about a platform, that fragmentation needs to go away, right? So that's probably something to talk about.
Okay, thank you for this horizontal view on the. So okay, I invite. In the meantime, Paul is showing results of our questionnaire, so you can also comment on that, or you can also try to somehow reflect that it is something that is surprising, or it is something that is obvious, and this is just which we can see as predictable.
Deployment has to be based on the legacy considerations. I think this result shows the most telecom people understand our complexity, and the dream is very good, but we have to be realistic to go there state by state, and also sometimes we have to look back about our legacy. How should we handle that? Because we have 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, they're all interconnected. 3GPP has made us millions of pages with 3GPP specifications. So this, we have to support them. Otherwise, somebody cannot roaming, you cannot, out of the services, you cannot connect to the 2G, or even cannot to 3G, even cannot to the 4G. Because of the complexity, we should be cautious about the bare matter have to coexist with the washing machine. That's my observation from this result. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other views or further opinions on the aspects which we are discussing today? Okay, yes.
I share Deng's opinion that probably there are different conditions in which one solution or the other can be more suitable. There are many considerations, efficiency or security, and I think what we need is to have the chance to choose for each of the applications what is the right environment for execution.
Okay, thank you. Yes, security is an important aspect. It was raised by in several voices in there, and of course we know exactly that this is something that is really important. So yes, this challenge, especially for public cloud, which was expressed today, is a point that will be all the time important. And then we see the result of second set of questions and views. So here, okay, yes. So here, regarding the use of practical use of energy interfaces, and surprise for that we are keeping most of interest to use lifecycle management interfaces with descriptors, which are considered as important. Although of course we do not forget about other technologies, because the voices are maybe not equal, but are, I would say, almost equal. So it seems that we are looking for all possible options. That was also mentioned in the presentations today, that there is no one way or one solution. All of us are looking for various possibilities, especially that we face different constraints. We serve different customers. We see different views. So this was.
Yeah, I think look at the people mentioned about SO6. Part is that you are raising this.
I don't have too much to comment, but I think definitely SO6 should be on the list, not only SO1. That's why I added the comment, and I'm happy to see that others are commenting the same. So good. So I'm not sure what to comment. No, I think I mean the CNF or containerized VNF lifecycle management is really important. I think what is in one sense is a good thing is that a lot of that lifecycle management is left over to Kubernetes, right? So it becomes a bit simpler from a specification point of view. But still, it needs to be in place. So no, I agree.
Yeah, so this is really good observation that also aspects that are not mentioned. And that was the goal of these comments, to provide, to explain other possible views, other possible options, and this is, I think, important driver from perspective of our group to consider that.
No, I just wanted to make a reflection on this when talking about SO6 or 1, etc. Is that at the end, when it comes to softwareization, we have to be used or to get used to the fact that several styles, several languages will be all over the place. I mean, if you think about programming languages, there is no one single programming language. At the end, what is important is how you structure your procedure calls or whatever, your RPCs, your REST methods, etc. Here is a little bit the same. There is life beyond Tosca. And this is something that is a good message around the table. And considering that languages are languages, no more, no less. And probably insisting in the again, in the over specification of certain aspects is really dangerous. And this is the idea about SOL 1, SOL 6, common information models, common data models, and then different languages. This or different execution models, if you like, because we can discuss about that, but Jan is much more declarative on Tosca. That's another story.
Yes, but if we see a need, then of course it's a good driver for the group to think how to manage and how to cover the gap, which a bit exists.
So can I respond to, yeah, so I think that Diego mentioned about the unified template, right? So that is true because the Kubernetes is based on the, either Helm or YAML. But historically, like 4G and MV is a Tosca template based, right? So we have to consider sort of like a backward compatibility. We will definitely embrace the Kubernetes template and Helm template, but we cannot throw away our legacy, Tosca based template as well. So I think we have to find something like a trade-off or in between to consider how we can really embrace the cloud native the languages, something like that.
Sure. The point, what I believe is important is not, because one of the radical problems that I believe we have is that we keep confusing design with standards. You can design, and this is something somebody was mentioning, you were mentioning 3GPP, right? Well, no, I'm not going to say to express strong opinions about, but basically, for so long time we have been standardizing not only we have been standardizing architectures. We have been practically standardizing designs. We have been telling developers how they have to create things or software, and this is something that is, at best, is dangerous and it's extremely harmful. Whatever we do, this is the same. I remember I am old enough for having lived the whole 2000s effect. People were extremely concerned about the 2000s effect. That it was caused because this practice of putting the two digits of the years, etc. That implied that people had to be extremely careful with the legacy software, but they didn't continue maintaining the standards in which that legacy software was based. For sure, we have to be careful about our legacy, and for sure, working in an industry with cycles that are way longer than the so-called hyperscalers or the modern guys, it's true. We have 10-year cycles and things like that, and we have to preserve the investments. I'm not arguing about that. What it would not be wise is to keep maintaining the old thing. The old thing is there. We are, and that's why something that came up today, talking about versioning, etc. Being clear about the versioning and saying, well, look, this is version whatever. This is release 5. We are not going to keep maintaining this because this for release 5 is for the past. And there is nothing wrong. And still, you can be selling products on that, selling support on that. We will be consuming products and support. But please don't think about maintaining the whole thing for longer. The standard, the standard, not the product. We have to distinguish this. This is very important.
Okay, so any other views for current discussion? Because one thing which I realized when Diego was yes, when Diego was talking, with the result of the I think third questionnaire, which was shown regarding the ranking of aspects which the winner is automating service design procedure. So we are standardizing architecture, we are providing solutions for lifecycle management, and here when we look from various possibilities what could happen in future, we look, okay, maybe simplify design procedure. So Is it something that can be then understood in a different way? Any comments to that? Because of course, as Diego explained, that is exactly what we are doing and what is exactly the goal of standardization, because design, yes, this is something that we have to look at customers, we have to look at regulation, as you explained in details, which are not for automation, definitely.
I think, I mean, if looking at when doing the service design, writing the descriptors and everything, it's quite complicated. And I think as we move into 5G and beyond, there's a lot of new things happening with the B2B. And then if we apply that orchestration into those settings where we start onboarding customer applications and we want to automate the deployment of those in an end-to-end setting together with NFs, or the network, or sorry, the NS, the network services. What we have also seen then is that some of these application vendors, they say, wow, no, I don't want to touch that. It's too complex. So I'm not sure how that could be done simpler. I'm not saying that it's wrong to have the complex templates or the BNFDs and NSDs because we need them, right? But still we need to enable those more simple applications to come in as well. So I'm not sure. That's maybe not for. I'm not sure if that falls in the standardization or in the product. But it would be nice to have. And I know that is happening, having kind of low code or no code approaches to achieve it, or potentially some Gen AI to actually create those simple descriptors and add them into the service design. Could be a good idea.
Okay. Yes,
right, Thank you. So I think you raised a very good challenges. I think NV today is facing. So how can we connect multiple, network functionalities? Are we going to based on the network service descriptor? You are talking the limitation of this specification. I think that's really reasonable. But we have to look at today. For example, what happened in the past. The Linux Foundation has open daylight, ONOS. There's so many solutions trying to solve this problem by open source based approach. But as far as I understood, it's not that easy because of the network connection, very challenging and also very complexity. We do consider. I think maybe there are some proposals recently. They are considering multiple site connections modeling designing to interconnect with the multiple network functionalities. That can help to improve the northbound interface of the NFV, trying to solve this problem, because this is the problem coming after NFV domain has been deployed, right? So but anyway, I think this is kind of SO6 was being led by Diego in the past, and he leads the discussion of the SO6 specifications. Maybe you can defense. Are you really did a good job for that part? So you led the MV working on specification about the network service descriptor. Sorry, I apologize. NSD. You think it's not efficiency for the connection of the multiple network functionalities based on the network service descriptors. You think maybe we can have a simplified new solution for the network connection design.
Simplifying the descriptor of the description of a service is something that depends on which level you make it. It's nothing that we need to standardize or to make an agreement on how we express low-level policies, etc. It's something that is clear, and there's nothing wrong with that. The point, my point is that at the end, if you think about the lower you get in a certain in a layer structure, the less number or the fewer number of the standards that you have to have. Right now, if you think about it, you have many high-level programming languages, or even many possibilities of interactions, network APIs, etc. You have many programming languages. You have way fewer assembly languages, and at the end you have one or two assembly machine languages. A few processors. You have very few processors. The lower you go, the fewer the standards. How you reach the standard is not necessarily you have to standardize all of them. I mean, you can play the market game that because open source. If you think about open source, if you again, I'm not going to talk about ONAP anyway, but open source, if you exclude those some trends that we have suffered in the past, with people calling fragmentation, like in the other days they were accusing you of witchery and they were banning you. Do you remember those days? This happens in the many places, especially in the US. It's something that it was. Fragmentation is not bad if you have open competition, because at the end you have an option that is winning. And this is the way open source has worked in the past, and that's not a problem. At the highest layers, it's reasonable that you have a way of formal standardization, because you have to have a common agreement. So, for the scriptors, depending if we're talking about the lowest levels of the scriptors, in all cases you need some kind of common way of understanding based on a common definition of the functionalities, for sure. But again, it's difficult, but instead of claiming fragmentation, I would be careful about claiming over-specification. It means standardizing designs is not a good idea. That's all.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. So maybe to give some final thoughts for the coffee break and possibility to discuss among us offline. Two last comments to the questionnaires. So as was the automation, this automation of design part was maybe a bit surprising, although the second part, which was dedicated to automation of testing and the validation, is quite common, because I think for years we are automating those aspects. So this is, I think, clear. And also for AI, for those aspects, how we treat artificial intelligence, the winner now is define requirements. And I think this is the task for us for coming time. Thanks a lot. I invite you for break to continue those discussions in a more formal way, and I will give Yoshi last word to say.
So coffee break time. So we resume the workshop. Half an hour. So 4:30. Okay. Please enjoy. Thank you.